last Friday. It's good to be together, and I hope all of you have a meaningful Mother's Day weekend. A couple of quick announcements. So we have our plant sale coming up this weekend, tomorrow Saturday from 9 to 1, and also during the morning on Sunday. And love to have you come and support the church and maybe get a plant for your mom. Also, next week, there will be no Thought for the Day. Peggy and Quentin and I are going to leave for a vacation from Monday through Friday. So you get a break from me next week. But I'll be thinking about you and praying for you and our church. And anyway, I was having a nice, intense, very meaningful conversation with one of our newer folks yesterday about, what does it really mean to be a Christian? I mean, it's one thing to say you're a Christian, or it's one thing to say we believe in Jesus, but what does that mean? How does that take shape? And I was thinking of the words for today from the 52nd chapter of Isaiah. And here are the words. How beautiful on the mountains are the feet of those who bring good news, who proclaim peace, who bring good tidings, who proclaim salvation and say to Zion, your God reigns. Bringing good news, proclaiming peace, bringing good tidings. Being a Christian or being Jewish, being religious, it's about the way we walk through this world. It's one thing to just say you believe something, but believing has to take shape in the way that we carry ourselves every day. That in the midst of all the stuff going on around us, and I tell you, the world can be a very troubled place, and I know that most of you are going through lots of stuff, but in the middle of all that, just bringing peace and good tidings unto somebody else, that's what believing is all about. It's not always what we say. It's not the name on the sign. It's our walk, our gentleness, our kindness, trying to bring good news in the midst of a world that can be very busy and harsh sometimes. There's a couple people I'm carrying inside my heart today, and I mentioned them last night in church. And I'm thinking of the community of Andrew High School, where one of their students was actually killed by her father. And I was thinking of the family. I'm thinking of the community of Andrew High School and how that affects all of you. And please know that our hearts and souls are with you, and we're praying for you. And we know that that young lady, that, boy, there's got to be a heaven, that hopefully she and her family can find some peace. I also think of a young lady who was not so young anymore. She was in my first confirmation class, and I talked about Carrie on Sunday, and she's going through a tough time, and she called me the other day, and she said that, I know I have not been to church, you probably don't even know where I live, but I just hope that you'll pray for me. And I said, what's going on? And she talked about almost being homeless, and I said, what do you want? And she said, I just want to know that my church is praying for me. She said, I haven't been there in a long time, but that's still my church. I still think about you and the church, and that would mean a lot to me. And those seeds of goodness, those seeds of good tidings, somehow, some way, they never grow old. They're always there. I know you probably just randomly think of people that you'd like to do something nice for, and a couple of you mentioned to me that when you drive by the church every day and you're right around 131st and LaGrange Road, you see the crossing guards there. And I was thinking about the crossing guards today. In fact, today, I just made it National Crossing Guard Day, but it really isn't. But as I go down 131st Street and turn right and come to church every single day, those crossing guards are there. And this past week, it's been raining, it's been cold, and they stand there and the kids go back and forth and they hold up their signs. And so today I said, our church needs to do something for them because they're our neighbors. And so this morning I dug into my magic backpack and I got a church envelope out and I put a little note on there saying thank you with a little cash. And I went up to each one of the crossing guards, about 8 o'clock this morning, just before they were done. And my gosh, a little bit later, Terry, who's the crossing guard on 131st Street, he comes knocking on the door. And he said, "Can I come in your church?" And I said, "Yes." And he came in here and he looked around and he said, "This is a nice, peaceful place, isn't it?" And I said, "Yes, it is, Terry." And he said, "I want to thank you and your church for thanking us for being crossing guards." And I said, "You know, you exemplify what we stand for. Every single day you go to work. You make sure those kids get safely across the street. And it's so easy to take people like you for granted. And once in a while, it's good to bring some good tidings to somebody that we don't even know. And so today, maybe just in some small measure, we let those crossing guards know that they are special people." And to me, that's what hopefully our church is all about. As I think about the journey through the pandemic and what's going on in Ukraine, when I think of all the individual things that each one of you is going through today and tomorrow and over the weekend, and I know Mother's Day can be a day of celebration. It can also be a bittersweet day if you're missing your mom, or maybe you don't feel like, as a parent, we're all that we could be. Know that it's just bringing good tidings to one person, one moment at a time. That really makes a difference. And I know that each one of us probably has somebody in our life who's a mom to us. And I'm thinking of Holly. Holly grew up here. She's waiting for a kidney transplant, and she's going through chemotherapy, and she just makes things, and she made these little wrappers that some of the kids are going to get on Sunday. It's a wrapper where mom kind of takes that lonely cup and wraps her love around that cup and makes the cup feel like somebody, and this cup is no longer half empty, but it's half full because somebody was like a mom and loved it. I guess that's the message. I'm going to miss you next week, but I look forward to seeing you on Sunday at 8:30 and 11 o'clock. God bless, and thanks for listening.